The curtain on the 2011 postseason with 5 games. They forgot one important one off the ice. Welcome to Hockey Central Playoff Edition. Darren Millard, Nick Kyprios, and Doug McLean, and get you straight to the lead. It started with a conversation with Wayne Gretzky to promote the arrival of hockey in California, in the sense that for the first time, all 3 California teams were in the postseason in the same year. Then Nick offered up a question regarding the potential of Phoenix relocation, and Wayne opened the door. The story's been on the front page of SportsNet.ca all day as information has been uncovered about the ownerless club. We know that there's negotiations been taking place between Matthew Hulsizer and the National Hockey League, the city of Glendale. What was the news that you broke?
Well, we just talked about the fact that the deal has gone sideways. The attempt by Hulsizer and the National Hockey League to keep hockey in Phoenix is all but dead. And although Hulsizer still says on record that he'd like to find a way to get it done, the fact remains that the Goldwater Institute has paralyzed this deal, guys. There's the inability to move forward on the bond sale, and they deem it illegal. And so far, it's enough to shut this thing almost right down, Mac, and there's nowhere to go from there if you're the National Hockey League.
And the Winnipeg Free Press moved even further on our story today when they brought in the fact that Hulsizer has backed off on the concessions that he came up with a couple of weeks ago, and he's back to the original deal. This puts it even more in jeopardy.
And that's millions and millions of dollars that the city of Glendale was potentially able to absorb from Hulsizer, or at least not pay out. The plan B then, if the National Hockey League can't move this team to Matthew Hulsizer, does Winnipeg become that city, that potential location for the franchise?
It really does, Darren, to the point where I can tell you that within the last 2 or 3 days, there's been some heavy negotiations between Gary Bettman, Bill Daly, and Mark Chipman, who has the rink in Winnipeg, along with his backing by billionaire David Thompson. The parameters of a deal are in place, Darren. So really what happens is now it's up to the National Hockey League to pull the plug on Phoenix and make it official. And all Winnipeg has to do is now basically wait for that official announcement to come.
And if Hulsizer can't pull it off, which it looks like he can't, this is going to be a challenging situation, because they're going to want, True North out of Winnipeg are going to want exclusive negotiating rights. And if Hulsizer falls apart, as we have been reporting is happening, and all of a sudden True North are the exclusive negotiators. Then there's Board of Governor approval, relocation approval, so there's still some hurdles to pass, but it looks like it's moving in that direction.
Hockey Central tonight, spending the first 5 minutes of its show discussing a team on the move, was not how the National Hockey League anticipated opening up the Stanley Cup postseason, to the point that Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly offered this statement: no decisions have been made at this point in time, and there has not been a timetable set for making that decision regarding Phoenix. We are still continuing in our efforts to effectuate the sale of the franchise in Glendale. Of course, this was after we heard from Wayne Gretzky on Hockey Central at noon.
I've been removed from it for 2 years, and you guys have heard me say this before. It's a wonderful city, and it's a great sports city, and I hope they can all find a way to figure this out. As time goes on here, it looks less and less like that's going to happen. There's a lot of great people in that city, a lot of really, really good sports people. And you know what? Let's see what unfolds here. Maybe a great playoff run might change a lot of opinions and thoughts of a lot of people out there. So if they have a good run here, maybe a lot of things could change, but it doesn't look good right now.
John Shannon has been Hockey Central's lead reporter on the Phoenix developments, and as per Kyprios McLean, he tweeted today, was told that Hulsizer's deal in Phoenix was like a terminal patient. When could this happen? What's the earliest that the National Hockey League would be forced to make the announcement official that the Phoenix Coyotes are on the move?
Well, as far as the National Hockey League's concerned, they can announce it anytime they want. But it all depends on the sense of urgency to get things going when, in fact, they do decide to go to Winnipeg. But it could happen, Darren, I'm told, as early as when the Phoenix Coyotes get knocked out. And if they go on a long extended run and possibly find themselves in a Stanley Cup final, then we're looking at the latter part of June. But time's running out on the National Hockey League and Glendale and the Phoenix Coyotes real quick here.
We may have, in fact, pushed that date up a little bit today, but, you know, I mean, they can't announce it until the Coyotes are out of the playoffs. I just can't believe that that would happen.
Wayne brought up the possibility of an extended run, maybe to a conference final, or if the team really gets hot, a Stanley Cup Championship Series. Do you see that in some way aiding the efforts and convincing people that maybe it can work in Phoenix?
Once the Hulsizer deal is dead, there is going to be no white knight because, as I said, True North out of Winnipeg will have exclusive negotiating rights. In other words, this deal will not be able to be shopped. It's either Winnipeg or whatever.
And remember, this is the opening of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Dave Tippett's team on the ice against the Detroit Red Wings. His pregame speech went from stopping Lidstrom and Datsuk to, guys, don't worry. I know a good real estate agent in Manitoba. Second